I mean, I've said this before, but basically, if you want to know how the world really is, you should go talk to Putin. I think one of his assassination attempts was basically there was somebody in the same city as him, and pretty much they were going to detonate a nuke, and it didn't go off. And him and his guys found out about it or whatever, and they said it should have gone off. It didn't, and everything was fine with it. I don't really know the exact details of Putin or whatever. Like I say, I liked him, and I think at some point in time I might have chose let him live or helped him live or something. I don't really know exactly if I did much with him. Like I said, he had been honest, and he had been. I think he had been honest. Although what really happens and what is real, what I think is happening in the world, like lots of people were lying to me. I was the most lied to. Anyway, person ever, pretty much. Oh, it's so annoying. So anyway, I cared about him. I liked him. I cared about him two times in his lifetime. One time when they were going to raid, by the way, he should know that they were going to go into that building and they were going to kill him and everybody else there. I don't know what they were doing that far into the country. They were inside of whatever territory. And some people say it was the Vietnam vets that actually did it. They were going and taking over companies or doing like this wave front. I'm not exactly sure. But basically, and some people say, well, as they were going along, they were actually shooting people in stores. They're saying peaceful, and then there's the final shot of them filming or whatever, or some filming or whatever. But as they walked along, and supposedly democracy, peaceful, they were actually killing people. They said in the warehouses they were shooting people openly. So, some democracy, some peace. And it was actually just like some Vietnam vets that were trying to come up on something, on warehouses or whatever. Anyway, and Putin and the leader there left, and anyway, it gets all complicated. But he would have died. He was they wanted to kill him for some reason. That was actually probably more likely JFK or Nixon, and Nixon was doing a lot of things, and also what is Hillary Clinton? She wanted him dead too, I think. Although I don't know why. Well, they say Hillary Clinton or somebody wanted him dead basically, and they actually had him scheduled to die, or as they say, a foot soldier, but he didn't. I didn't want him to die, and I liked him. So anyway, so he lived. Anyway, and he stayed alive. He's a good guy, really. He has a military base or something like that, and at one point in time, he wasn't any better than most people. Most people would say, but I don't know. I think he was. I think he is. He was honest at one point in time in his life or something, to some extent. Although it's hard to say. And they did try to kill him in prison quite a few times, or whatever. If I'm thinking of the right person. And his dad was somebody. Anyway, I don't really know. Some people say his dad was worse than anybody else and the most horrible person ever. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, possibly somebody that went to Israel. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's hard to say exactly, as basically Swedish civilization was crumbling and falling apart. As basically people were just like, hey, yeah, man, let's shoot it up. Which basically meant maybe some LSD in their vein, and then, yeah, pink elephants. Anyway, pretty much, yeah. Well, 1910, 1920 to 1950 or 60 was like a really bad time. Where pretty much there was just simply more Japanese than they could possibly kill. They had targeted Japan or China first, and there happened to be more Chinese than there was anybody else. So they did unity, and pretty much they found themselves in an existence war against everyone for a while there. And they mostly lived because I told them to build these secret. They might talk about it too. In the end of mines, they built secret rooms that you couldn't really see. So there were actually Chinese and people hiding in those rooms that no one knew about and stuff like that. There was places where Chinese or Japanese people could hide. basically all over the place. And they actually are hidden there until they can come out. Like, certain groups would move across the planet like a wave. And it was really bad. And this how it goes on between 1910 and 1980 or so, 1970. Anyway, like I said, I own America and Germany and quite a few other places. So I should, be a very rich man and very powerful in my own right. But realistically, humanity just went on its own. Mostly because some black guy wanted it to go that way. Anton! And basically Harlem and Wolf, what is basically, um, what's his name's money? Michael Jackson's money. The money was supposed to be going for this and that, and it wasn't. It was just going to buy guns or whatever. And basically, um, Michael Jackson's dad finally was living the big life. He drove everything. He had all the money or something like that. I don't know. You'd have to go see. But basically, he had 10 Rolls Royces. He had all this. He had all the money, finally, or whatever. And I think mostly because people... Anyway, I don't know. He worked it or whatever, and it has to do with more with Harlem Wolf and other people that were killing, basically. Anyway, it gets all complicated where basically these people are killing those people and those people are killing those people and blah, blah, blah. It's just this big thing where... And then, meanwhile, Black is doing their own unity, but they're not really doing more unity than... Anyway, basically it's China and Black with some British people and some other people in between. Anyway, whatever. The world realizes it's a bunch of small groups trying to be big. But China is actually probably the only people that are actually keeping the world even mildly sane. I'm not exactly sure. And, of course, Belfast and the Irish and the British. There's a bunch of middle class workers that were actually basically keeping the world normal, and mostly it was the IRA and Irish people that banded together, and they were actually doing it, and they were also singled out as basically protectors. And again, other people tried to, because it's so easy to just walk up to somebody and be like, "Well, you're not going to be bugging me anymore. Shall we take our ferry, honey? Shall you take my ferry, my private ferry, honey? Just let me, we'll go talk to the captain." A lot of that was happening between 1910 and 1960. It was really bad. Really, really bad. Or even toll bridges. People would go and kill all the people on the toll bridges, and then they would have new people. All new people now taking your 10 cents. They didn't build it. They had nothing to do with it. But they will be collecting your toll. Anyway, yeah. Anybody smiling or happy would quickly stop smiling and be happy. Anyway, I feel that eventually there was just too many people on this earth to actually for them to kill, or for them to cause a serious dent. Even though there were like a couple groups that were just going from city to city killing people, and there was nobody looking to see where they went, what they were doing.